Today, we're going to be hacking the Joel Osteen Inspiration Cube. This is going to be fun. Stay tuned. I spend an awful lot of time trying to come up with ideas for videos on this channel. Sometimes they're easy to come up with and other times not so much. This idea here to hack this little inspiration cube actually came from a joke that I made in a comment section recently. I had mentioned that I should go and buy one and replace all the audio and then return it. I'm not advocating actually doing that. It was a joke, and not only is that unethical, but I think it might actually be illegal. So don't do that. However, that joke actually led me to doing some research into whether or not this thing is hackable. And it turns out it actually is, and it's not that hard. And it turns out it's a relatively decent Bluetooth speaker. So I decided that I was going to get one and hack it because honestly, I could use a Bluetooth speaker, but you know, I really don't have any interest listening to Joel Osteen. So I decided I'm going to replace it with my own audio, and it's actually not hard to do. But first, before we get into that, I just wanted to say that if you like content like this, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. I post a new video every week. So now, let's get into the teardown. All right, so here's our cube. So for the teardown, what we're going to need is I'm using an opening tool. This is a thin metal tool that can be used to get into really tight spaces. We're actually going to use this to get underneath the front plate on this. And then also, I would recommend using a plastic spreader. These plastic spreaders work really well to not damage the surfaces on here, because unfortunately this metal one, you can actually scratch the trim piece around here with the metal one. So that's why I use this plastic one. So now to start out with, the first thing that we want to do is I found that these buttons right here are kind of smushy enough to where you can actually get underneath this front panel. So to do that, all you do is just kind of wedge this thing in there, and you want to be really careful when you do so. And then just kind of stick it in there just like that. So you can kind of see how I got a little bit of separation right here in the panel. And then once you do that, you don't want to run the metal tool all the way around the glass. You just want to kind of spread this up so you can get the plastic tool in. And then once you get the plastic tool in, you can kind of finish it off all the way around. And when you do that, you just kind of want to go in a circle all the way around the front face. And once you get down to the bottom, it should just about pop off. Might have to play with it a little bit here. There we go. And that's it. That's how you get the front face off. And then once you have the face off of it, you've got 3 screws right here that you need to remove. So you come in here and apparently get a longer screwdriver, unfortunately. All right, there's my longer screwdriver. So now we're going to go in here and we're going to pull these 3 screws out. All right, now the final screw is on the bottom of the device. You have this little black rubber piece here, and this is for kind of like a non-slip pad. So whenever you set it on a table or a desk or something, it doesn't come off. And for this right here, unfortunately, the sticky doesn't survive on this one. So when you pull this one off, you just want to pry underneath it, and you just kind of want to pry it back like this. And this one's a lot more difficult to get off than the front face was. All right, once you get it off, you should see that there's another hole right here in the back side. So you go for this one and you pull this screw out. All right, now you set that one aside, and now that you have these off, you should be able to just wiggle the front off and it pops right open. Just like that.
Oh, what does that smell? Oh, it smells like heresy.
Now, if we look inside here, we can see that the device actually has an SD card right here. And what we're going to need to do is the SD card is actually hot glued in place. So we're going to need to remove that glue in order to get the SD card out. And to do that, you should be able just to peel it off. So we're going to give that a shot and hopefully not break anything here. All right, it's not the easiest glue to remove, that's for sure. But you want to take your time on this because you don't want to break the SD card slot here. Looks like I'm slowly getting it to peel back. Slowly but surely, just a little bit at a time. I think this right here is their anti-hacking device that they installed. Unfortunately, I don't think it's that effective. But we're going to find out. It may be. Maybe I break it, and this whole video is just going to be how to break a Joel Osteen Inspiration Cube. That might actually be what happens. Oh, it looks like I got a hold of a piece right here. So we got it about half off right now. So we're slowly moving across. And actually, now that I have a handle to hold on to, it's coming off a lot better now. So should just be one more moment. We should have this SD card free. Oh, looks like it's really tight right on the end again. Oh, what do you know? There we go. So now that we got that free, we should be able to slide this SD card out. They definitely did not intend on this thing coming apart, that's for sure. I'm wondering if it's possible that some of that glue got underneath this piece here. I think it might be, actually. Oh, yep, look at that. Hey, we're getting somewhere. And there we go. We have a micro SD card. Looks like a 4 gig, just a no-name generic SSD card. And I'm actually gonna image this, and then we're gonna create a new one, so then that way we can keep the original one stock. All right, now that we have the SD card out of the Inspiration Cube, the next thing we need to do is install the SD card into an SD card reader and plug this into a computer so we can read what's off the card. Let's do that right now. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is plug our SD card into a computer and then open the SD card up. And here we have the folders that are on the card. Now, I've heard reports that some of these actually have a folder that doesn't have a name, so it's real hard to open it from a Windows computer. I'm actually doing this from within Linux because I thought it would give me less trouble, but lo and behold, my SD card actually doesn't do that. It just has everything right out in the root folder. So as you can see, here are the affirmations, the inspirations, and the sermons, all sitting in the root directory of the SD card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another folder here, and I'm actually going to create a folder so I can back these up. So I'm going to open my backup up here, and then I'm going to copy all of these over to the backup. And this is going to take just a minute to back up. It looks like going really quick. So I'm going to fast forward to when these are all backed up. Okay, so the copying is done. Now we have all of the files here saved on a backup folder that I made here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and eject this SD card here. And then once I pull it out of the computer, I'm going to save this one as a backup, and I'm actually going to replace the SD card with another one that I picked up. This one's an 8 gig SD card because honestly the 8 gigs were half the price of the 4 gigs. So I was like, you know, it's pointless. Hopefully the 8 gig will work in the cube. We'll see. So I'm going to plug this SD card in and plug this one into the computer. Okay, so now here's our blank SD card. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we want to create these 3 folders right here. So we have the affirmation folder. So we're going to create this one, and I'm going to copy the names of these folders so I have them perfect. And then we're going to do the inspiration folder. And then we're going to do the sermon folder. Okay, now that we have these folders set up, now we need some audio to put in here. And if you look at the naming conventions here, you can see that the way these files are named is right here, I'm in the affirmations. So we have A001 followed by the actual name of the affirmation that it's going to be playing. Now, all of these MP3s are encrypted. You can't play them on anything but the Cube, but that's okay because the Cube will play unencrypted MP3s as well. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we name ours. I'm going to name it A001 followed by the name of the MP3 that I'm putting on here. So the MP3 that I'm going to be using is good old Rick Ashley right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this into the affirmation folder. And then I'm going to rename it as A001. And now what I plan on doing is I'm actually going to copy this one to all of the folders here. So we'll have one in each folder. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this SD card, put it back in the Cube, and fire it up and see if it plays our MP3. So let's get back to the Cube. All right, so here we have our new SD card, and we're going to go ahead and install it into the SD card slot and fire this thing up and see what happens. So to slide this in, you just get down in here. Be real careful because it's kind of hard to plug it in. I don't think they designed this thing to be serviced like ever. So we're going to plug this thing in, and then we're going to flip it over and turn it on and see what happens. All right, so we're going to set this thing together just like this, and we're going to hit the power button, and let's get our daily inspiration and see what happens. Better stop this before I get a takedown notice from YouTube. So anyway, that's what it takes to hack Joel Osteen Inspiration Cube. You can put as much audio on it as you want as long as you follow the naming convention that's on the original SD card. The different folders need to have all of their MP3s in order based on that naming convention, and everything should work fine for you. I don't know for sure how it'll work past the number of MP3s you have. Technically, it has 366 MP3s on it. So that would mean it has one MP3 for every single day, including one for leap year. However, if you only put 10 on it, would it repeat those 10 after the 10 days are up? Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with it and do some testing. You very well may need to have 366 MP3s on there, and if that's the case, you better get to making MP3s. Or you can always copy the same one over and over again and just name it differently if you wanted to do it that way too. So either way, you should be able to have some fun with it. And it makes a really nice little Bluetooth speaker, which I plan on putting in my bathroom after this video is done. While I have you here, I just wanted to let you know that I also have a website at cybercputech.com. That site has all the show notes to the videos on this channel, and someday it'll actually have my shirts that I have for sale. But in the meantime, you can always pick up the shirt that I'm wearing in the video in the description below. And also follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter at CyberCPU, as well as Instagram at CyberCPU as well. If this video was helpful to you, then please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos. I post a new video every week. Hey, and before you go, check out a couple of these videos. Have a great day.